The cry of what's for dinner gets even more overwhelming as the busy holidays approach. So if you could just spend 1 hour of prep and have 4 inexpensive home-cooked meals, would you jump at that? Yeah. With Dini Klein's Prep and Rally method, you can save money and time and stress figuring out what's for dinner. Recently, she showed me exactly how it all works.
We're making some tortilla mushroom egg bites from the book. So these are really fun. We even added like a little step-by-step tutorial to how to make them because it's a little bit of a unique way of making egg cups because you have this little tortilla crust at the bottom. They're really fun. They're great to grab and go for breakfast. They're great to prep at the start of the week so you could just run out the door with them. And I even like to serve them for dinner sometimes. There's more of like a breakfast for dinner thing, which the kids always think is really, really fun and super cool.
I agree. And anytime you got some protein going, I think that's perfect. So how do we get started making them?
Okay, so it's like literally the most simple thing in the entire world. You're going to saute some mushrooms and onions. And if you're doing this full weeks of meal prep, you're making a large batch of the mushrooms and onions. Half of it is going into the tuna casserole. The other half is turning into these tortilla mushroom egg cups at the end of the week. So all you're going to do is take your eggs that you're going to whisk together, add in those already sauteed mushrooms and onions from the start of the week. So you're using them in 2 different ways. So you saved a lot of time, a lot of money, and you're repurposing something in a totally new way. So you're never eating the same thing more than once.
Well, and I think it's kind of genius that you're actually like shortening the ability, like the amount of work you're doing by just kind of combining these things.
Exactly. I always say you're getting very creative in the kitchen. You're repurposing things and using the same item in different ways that you save a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of sanity. So I've just added in some cottage cheese. We're adding in some extra great protein. We have some cheese, and then all you're going to do is season it with some salt, pepper. If you want to do garlic powder, any fresh herbs that you may have on hand. Throw anything in there. And of course, if you don't want to use mushrooms and onions and you want to just make this as a standalone recipe, use up anything you have in the fridge. So if you have like roasted broccoli, if you have peas, if you have roasted Brussels sprouts, throw it all in here. It's basically like making an omelet. Anything you like.
That's great. I love that like ability to just sub in whatever you want and whatever's in your kitchen, because that's something I've been trying to do a lot more lately with inflation, like use everything I've got.
Exactly. And I have a subscription service called prepandrally.com, and that's really what started off this whole system, this meal prepping system. And this is basically the book version of it. It's not just a series of recipes or meal plans. Rather, it's meant to be a guide and a resource to help you get through the week stress-free, get more creative in the kitchen, and use what you have to make it all happen. So all I'm doing here, I cut my tortilla into quarters. So you're going to take 2 of these little triangles, you're going to overlap them slightly and then press them into your muffin tin. So you end up making little cups. Okay.
That's fun. Okay.
Yeah, just like that. And these are really fun and they end up baking off like little cups. It's really cute. Do you have kids, Amity?
I do. Yes, I have 2. One's a really picky eater and one not so much. So I like the idea of being able to individualize the cups and knowing like, all right, the wild eater will do anything. And then my daughter can just be like egg and cheese and that's it.
Exactly. I'm all about building your own DIY. There's a ton of DIY style dinners here where you can just lay out all the toppings, have them all make their own taco, have them make their own burrito bowl, have them make their own grain bowl. But you're mixing and matching and getting creative with how you're serving it so that everyone's happy and satisfied. So it's all about the small modifications that really help you make it work for everyone.
And of course, when you pour the egg in there, it really kind of holds the tortilla down. So when you bake it, nothing's popping out.
Exactly. So you're just going to fill your little tortilla cups and then, yeah, you bake them off at 350 for about 30 minutes or so until they're crispy and golden. And then you get this really fun little outer shell with your egg in the center and they get nice and puffy and golden.
And it's durable, obviously.
Really fun. Yes, exactly. See, they don't even fall apart. They're so good.
So I really love the idea of just kind of making the bits and pieces and combining it all together. What are some of the biggest misconceptions or myths that get in the way of us doing meal prep?
I think people just think of it as being super daunting. That's the first thing. It's like, how am I going to do this? It's so much to prep. It's so much work. But you have to just remember that you're putting in, it's kind of like a workout. You know, the anxiety of building up to it and leading up to it and thinking about it. If you just put your shoes on, put your workout clothes on, just do it. You're already in it and you know it'll be over in about an hour and you know it's going to make you feel so great the rest of the day, the rest of the week. That's the same thing as this meal prep. And I really try to look at every single step so that it makes it really seamless. I give you the grocery list, modifications. I lay out every single meal prep component. Oh my God, a cute cat.
Do you have cat food meal prep? Because
Oh,
clearly
no.
he's hungry.
You know what? There's something for everyone in here. You can always make modifications. I should have added cat modifications. I love that.
Thank you so much, Dini. Raja and I really appreciate it.
Ah, that cat every time. Well, by the way, I was really inspired by Dini's method and her recipe. So when we come back, producer Susie and I are prepping a delicious cauliflower dish along with some spicy kebabs. So stay with us.